on. The thing is, I switched the screen to my face, and then you can't hear the music anymore, but I still have to pause the music afterwards. Is there a better way to do this? Almost certainly. But, you know, we're living life. Anyway, hello. Welcome to Rook Reads Homestuck. My name is Rook. I will be reading Homestuck. Where we last left off, there was a very pretty, very poetic panel. A pretty poetic panel. John spent several pages just fucking with the Sylladex, which was basically an inventory. And yeah. Oh, also, for those of you who are new, if there's anyone new, I'm going to come up with a list of content warnings for this episode as the episode is happening, and I just realized I wanted to write that down on a physical piece of paper that I don't have within reach. So... paper. And I will put the content warnings on the VOD. So if you are watching the VOD, either on Twitch or on YouTube, because I found out that you can add descriptions to videos on Twitch, the content warnings should be in the description. And I'm freezing. So open that up. If I just realized I have more things, tabs open that I need to have. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So content warnings in the descriptions of the VOD. If you are not watching the VOD, then things are just going to happen as they happen, and we're gonna have to deal with it all together. I don't expect anything too drastic to happen in this one, except for a couple of things. Meteors, for example, because I assume my hope is this a good pen? My hope is that we will get through the rest of Act 1 today. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. It's definitely going to be a lot more pages than last time, but also this time I'm not having dinner afterwards, because I already ate dinner, so I should be good to go for a while. I have my water bottle. And yeah. I'd like to thank all 4 of my viewers for showing up. Hello, my friends. Even if you're not someone I already know, you're my friend now. How does it feel to be my friend? Are you feeling the parasocial relationship here? Anyway. My shirt, this is from the Target Pride collection. It's got a bunch of, like, kind of stealth pride flags, honestly. Like, I feel like if you didn't already know, it's not obvious. Because it's like, you've got this, which is like the trans flag, but there's no white. You've got, like, a non-binary flag, but again, there's no white. You've got a pan flag. I think there's a bi flag somewhere. There's gotta be, right? Yeah, there's a bi flag somewhere on it. Finally friends! Wow. For those who don't know, Jay Frano is my girlfriend. We are dating. We have been together for nearly 2 years now. Wild. Anyway, I think that's all of the preamble I really needed to go for. And if anyone has any questions about, like, what the fuck is going on, or what the hap is fucking, please feel free to speak up. Yeah. But now we're finally friends. Exactly. Hashtag love wins. I'm being very gay today. Okay, so let's open up our Homestuck. This is the panel where we last left off. On Homestuck. Isn't it so nice that they've got, like, got a little title card. Let's reread this one that we stopped on last time because it's very pretty. The streets are empty. Wind skims the void, keeping neighbors apart, as if grazing the hollow of a cut reed or, say, a plundered mailbox. A familiar note is produced. It's the one desolation plays to keep its instrument in tune. It is your 13th birthday, and as with all 12 preceding it, something feels missing from your life. The game presently eluding you is only the latest sleight of hand in the repertoire of an unseen riddler, one to engender a sense not of mirth, but of lack. His coarse schemes are those less of a prankster than a common pickpocket. His riddle is absence itself. It is a mystery dispersing altogether, like the moon's faint reflection, with even one pebble of inquiry dropped in its black well. It is the most diabolical riddle of all. Absence diminishes little passions and increases great ones, as wind extinguishes candles and fans a fire. Walt Whitman. Yes, you are certain Walt Whitman said that. 100% positive. Also, not to explain the joke, but I'm going to explain the joke here. There was a quote earlier that was attributed to Mark Twain. I believe that was a Shakespeare quote, and this quote that's attributed to Walt Whitman, I think is a Mark Twain quote, but I could be wrong. But I'm certain that Walt Whitman said it. 100% positive. You have a feeling it's going to be a long day. Yeah, also, I've been thinking about blind accessibility lately, just as a thing. I've been thinking about it lately, I mean, I watched a video about blind accessible video games, so I'm going to attempt, and I just remembered this now, I'm going to attempt to describe, the visuals, in case any blind person wants to listen. Or if just people want to listen and have something open in another tab, and so just not pay attention. Google says it's this quote is from Francois de la... I'm not gonna fucking pronounce that. It's French. It's not a Walt Whitman quote, is the point. Alright, I thought there was like a quote that was from that was attributed to Walt Whitman that wasn't Walt Whitman, or attributed to Mark Twain, Christ, that wasn't Mark Twain, and then another one that was attributed to someone else that was a Mark Twain quote. I don't know. Whatever. It's gonna be a long day. So, anyway. After that beautiful, poetic thing, we are reminded that John is wearing the silly Beagle Puss glasses, has a little pipe and a bowler hat. And so yeah, he's outside his house. The mailbox is open. And then it says, John, leave a surprise for the mailman. No. And it's another joke about pooping. It's the same position that he was in for Squawk Like an Imbecile and Shit on Your Desk, where he is looking and then looking away, has his hands up by his head, is resisting the urge to shit in the mailbox. Anyway, John, see if your father left the mail in the car. So John goes over to the car, and you see the interior of a car. It has, on the dashboard, there's this little Harlequin fellow, just a head with a little jester hat and a big smile. And then in the passenger seat, there is a green box that is sitting atop something, a corner of something, maybe an envelope, or perhaps a game? This is what my video game characters usually look like after I get past the messing with inventory part of the game, so it makes sense. Indeed. The door is locked and your dad has the car keys. You peer in through the driver's side window. You don't see any mail, but you do see a green package. There's also something underneath it that looks like a slip of paper. Maybe I don't have to describe these panels. They're described in the captions. Could these items have come in the mail? You don't see anything else that's usually in the mail, like bills and coupons. Maybe your dad forgot to take the stuff inside. John, spy in the kitchen. You try to get a gander through the kitchen window, but you can't see a whole lot. It seems your dad has been doing so much baking the glass has steamed up. God, he is so weird. But you can see what's on the table just beside the window. It looks like the mail is there. Included among it is a red package, some bills, your dad's PDA, and an envelope that appears to be suspiciously labeled with the Spurb logo. Could it be? Unfortunately, the window is locked. Yeah. I guess I'll describe the panels when necessary, because it seems like Andrew Hussey actually does a pretty decent job of that a lot. Or at least sometimes. You have no other choice, you are going in. Clever disguise, it's time to work your magic. And so the next one is S, John, enter, which we know from our first S panel that means that there's going to be sound. Ooh, and so, yeah. So if it's too loud or too quiet, please let me know, and maybe I'll be, I'll get bleh. Maybe I'll have read your message by the time it's over. Who knows? Anyway, so, John, enter. Oh, probably not. This is a short one. So we're seeing John's dad in bits and pieces. He's got a cake, and a pipe, and a hat. And no face, just a nose. Sounds, right. Yeah. Also, one of the nice things about the unofficial Homestuck collection is that they have this little thing down here that says the name of the song and the name of the person who wrote it, and a link to the track, which was not on the original Homestuck. So it's a nice way to actually attribute the music that is happening. And yeah, I mean, there is attribution, but there's like a separate page of credits on the original Homestuck site, and so this is just nice to have it right there, just like, oh, that's what the title is. So this song that you just heard was Harlequin by Mark Hadley. And so then you see there's the dad who... there's John in his disguise, which he takes off. Your dad sees right through your costume. You don't know what you were even thinking with this foolish ruse. You unequip the clever disguise. Your dad wields a dreaded artifact of confection. He stands between you and the mail. There is only one way to settle this. S. Strife. Strife. Okay, he just lit the cake, and now you've got some, like, sort of... This is very loud for me, I don't know about y'all, but... sort of, fighting stances. They're sort of walking around. We've got a grieve and a joke. Two options. So I click grieve. And John goes after his dad with the hammer. It's auto paste. Jor. Guardian rubric. Cuddle something. I clicked it this time. Guardian rubric. Cuddle brand. And then there's a big word that comes across the screen that I can't see because it's I still can't tell what that word is. Hold on, I'm gonna continue clicking that. Nope. Someone else tell me what that word says. Starts with a it just flashed across the screen very quickly. Something smite. Dote smite, maybe? Yeah, dote smite. It's dote smite. As in your dad, who's doting, he's also smiting. Because it's a fight scene. And so basically there's just these two options where you hit your dad and your dad shoves the cake at you, and that's it. John, retrieve the package and flee to your room. And then there's abscond, an option for abscond. You cannot abscond! This pesky guardian is blocking your path. You'll need to engineer some sort of distraction. And now he brandishes yet another artifact of confection, which appears to be some sort of pie with a whipped cream topping. You better brace for impact in the most comedically striking fashion possible. John, equip disguise for defense. The beetle, Aegis? I don't know, absorbs the brunt of the treat. Looks like Dad will enjoy the prankster's gambit on that exchange, as is usually the case. So yeah, you got a face full of pie, but puts on your clever disguise. John, captcha pie tin. You take the pie tin and unequip the Beagle Puss. Everything in your Sylladex is pushed back a card. The smoke pellets are ejected from the deck. Yes, this could be just the distraction you were... Nothing happens. What a huge letdown. And yeah, the smoke pellets are on the floor. Nothing is happening. John, take the cake. And you click accede? I don't know. When two great forces oppose one another, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. Oscar Wilde. Points for whoever knows where that quote actually came from. Is it like Sun Tzu? Anyway, wise words by a man who likely could resist everything but temptation. Which I believe is actually an Oscar Wilde quote. Although everything is attributed to Oscar Wilde, so... The cake forces Colonel Sassacre's text out of your Sylladex. And then the big book falls on the smoke pellets and they activate. Sassacre, you beautiful bastard. Now's your chance. John, abscond. Now that your dad is busy placating the smoke detector, you can safely sneak away. John, take the PDA. You snag your dad's PDA. Maybe later you'll switch the background image to something hilarious as a prank. Besides, it may come in handy later. Your spare captcha card is forced out of the decks and out of the Sylladex and consequently integrated with the deck. You now have 5 cards to work with. Lao Tzu. Yeah, Lao Tzu. That's actually what I meant. And the only reason I know how to, pronounce Lao Tzu at least even slightly correctly is because there's a Lao Tzu quote in Rogue Maker that Emma worked very hard to be able to pronounce correctly. Isn't that the dude in Rogue Maker? Exactly! Yeah. Anyway, if you're watching the stream and you haven't listened to Rogue Maker, go listen to Rogue Maker. John, take package. This red package is addressed to you. John, take envelope. You got the Spur Beta! And then the Beagle Plus is thrust out of the Sylladex and is now just on the floor. John, exit kitchen. So now we're back in the living room. The big Harlequin doll he got is still there on the couch, but one of the fake arms has fallen into the cake. John, get cake on couch. You captcha the cake on the couch, expelling the pie tin from the bottom card. John, combine the cakes to make a double-decker cake. You merge the 2 cakes across all 5 cards. Everything in your Sylladex is smushed between the cakes. Why don't you think these things through first? John, retreat upstairs. I'm gonna become the Rogue Maker. Lao Tzu, Rogue Maker. I'm quite sure Lao Tzu actually said that in Rogue Maker. I'm quite certain that he said that. Okay, he's going down the hallway. You pause at the juncture and head up the hall. You're going to need something to clean up the mess you are about to make by dissecting this cake. To the left is the bathroom, to the right is your dad's room. It is locked, and you are forbidden from ever entering. He has secrets. Ooh. Wow, I didn't know Lao Tzu was redacted. He's the Rogue Maker. Sorry, spoilers for Rogue Maker, but Lao Tzu is the Rogue Maker. Episode 9 spoilers, you'll find out Wednesday. I was gonna say tomorrow. Today's Monday. A new episode comes out Wednesday. Anyway, go to the bathroom and grab a towel. You enter the bathroom. You can see your backyard from the window. The jewel in its crown is the swing set, which has provided you with years of joy. There's also a spring-mounted pogo ride, which has been responsible for more than one painful injury and has provided you with years of lament. Man, I would have been so happy if I had one of these little spring-mounted pogo rides in my own backyard as a kid. Are you kidding me? Man. Painful injuries and all. On the sink is your dad's razor. On the rack to the side is a fresh towel. John, remove PDA, envelope, and package from cake. And he does that. You take the razor and use it to perform surgery on the cake. You take the towel and clean off the extracted goods. John, retrieve your items. The items force the manhandled cake into the toilet. And just like that, your Sildex is full again. God, this thing is annoying. John, go to the bedroom. Or go to bedroom. John, admire failure to launch poster. Also, you can see you have, he's got 2, notifications on his computer. John, admire failure to launch poster. You're not usually into chick flicks, but Matthew McConaughey's cool charisma could salvage any heap of smoldering wreckage. This is your McConaughey wall, a casual shrine to an amazing actor. The film above that one is a lot better, you think. Just time to kill. Can you see her? I want you to picture that little girl. Chokes up. Now imagine she's white. You got us, Matthew. Your smooth talking exposed our latent racism. Damn, you were good. Wow, I forgot how much this, mentions racism. Or, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that. Cake-related inventory shenanigans rule so hard. They do. It's a good time. Yes, John, check Pastor Chum. So he's got messages from Turn Tech Godhead and Garden Gnostic. Show Pester Log. Garden Gnostic GG began pestering ectobiologist EB at 1634. Hi, happy birthday, John! Less than 3. Hello? Okay, I will talk to you later. Smiley face with a capital D. Garden Gnostic ceased pestering ectobiologist at 1656. Turntech Godhead began pestering ectobiologist at 1640. Hey, GG is looking for you. Why are you even so popular all of a sudden? Is today some sort of special occasion or something? Did you do something to curry favor with ladies? Did you break your leg on a puppy or some shit? Dude, what are you doing? Turntech Godhead is now an idle chum. I discovered a comet that is going to destroy the Earth, and it was named after me. Now I am famous, and everybody wants to talk to me a lot. No, stop. Just no. Don't talk about your awful, stupid movies or make references to them. Your gross man-bro crush on Matt McConaughey is an unsavory thing to behold. McConaughey. Dave misspelled it. John spelled it correctly. Presumably. I don't know off the top of my head how to spell McConaughey, but apparently it's with an E, E-Y, and not an A-Y. Sounds like a noise a horse would make, i.e. dumb. Sorry, I just really like that line. Equally dumb are all those pictures of that clown you've got hanging up. Those are my dad's. I was talking about Nick Cage. Oh, what? No, man, Cage is sweet. So sweet. So lame. You don't even like him ironically or anything. This is for real, isn't it? I do things ironically sometimes. What about what I sent you for your birthday? No, those are awesome. What? No, they're stupid. Which was the joke. The ironic joke. Get it? Wait. You're actually wearing them, aren't you? I'm wearing them ironically. Because they're awesome. And the fact that they're ironic makes them awesome. And vice versa. You taking notes on how to be cool? Jesus, get a fucking pen. You do realize they touched Stiller's weird, sort of gaunt face at some point. Ew, yeah. Oh well. Anyway, speaking of which, did you get the mail? Yeah. Did there happen to be a package there? Yeah, there's a big red one. You should probably open it. I would, but it's trapped under the Spur beta, so I would probably open it after I install the beta. Oh man, the beta came? Yeah, wanna play it? No way. Why not? It sounds hells of boring. Just get TT to play it. She is all about that. Where'd she go? Her internet is blinking in and out, I guess. Probably be back online soon. Oh, and Christ in a sidecar, are you still using the stack modus? Seriously, dude. You need to bone up on your data structures. That shit is just ridiculous. John, open browser and go to mspaintadventures.com. Ah, the meta. Oh, the meta. And yes, as I mentioned earlier, Typheus is his browser. And he goes to MS Paint Adventures. You decide to space out on the computer for a while before doing anything important. Haha, I do that. You open the Typhoeus web browser and direct it to what is indisputably the most amazing web page ever created. Wow, this meta joke is a lot weirder knowing that Homestuck is no longer on mspaintadventures.com. But anyway. Next. MS Paint Adventures. Midnight Crew. And so there's a little thing with a bunch of guys around a table. There's hearts and spades and diamonds all over the place, and there's a knife in a map? Question mark? I don't know. And in the screen within the screen, it says, "You are members of a sinister gang called the Midnight Crew. Your nefarious plots are serpentine in their complexity, your schemes convoluted. You are planning a heist in your underground hideout. What will you do?" The new adventure is okay, but you're not sure if you like it as much as the last one. John, install the Spurb beta. You decide it's time for less meta and more beta. This joke is funnier in text. Or maybe with an accent different from mine. Does anyone pronounce beta as beta? Or meta as meta? I don't think anyone says meta. Although, I don't know. There's plenty of accents out there, you know? Anyway, you insert the CD and install the Spurb beta. Beta. What the fuck is this? So there's a pop-up on the screen that's, that says Spurb version 0.0.1 at Skynet Systems Incorporated, all rights reserved. Spurb client is running, waiting for server to establish connection. John, bone up on data structures. Going to his closet. You go to your closet where you keep a lot of clothes and an array of handy computer programming guides. So you've got, there's a book that says data structures, there's one that says discrete mathematics, normal things for 13-year-old boys. And then there's Carrot Cake Until Death, as I mentioned before. And then there's DIS, and then an asterisk, or disasterisk, or disaster risk. Anyway. And then there's Automata. And then a bunch of books that don't have any titles on them. Read Data Structures book. Data Structures for Assholes by Buckminster Funny Uncle. On the top, there's a blurb that says, "I think my rage just crapped its pants," attributed to Funny Uncle. There is an angry yelling face that says, "Your ignorance just made me throw up a little. Get a clue, you computer illiterate piece of shit." And there's a little starburst that says, "Free fetch modus and back." So he said, "Yeah, I made a great chili the other night. Boo, hiss." You're not sure you really want to dig into this huge tome. It looks really boring and kind of ornery. Maybe you'll just check out that free modus instead. John, get free fetch modus. You turn to the back inside cover where a free fetch modus is included in a plastic sleeve. This one is dictated by the logic of a queue data structure operating in a first in, first out method rather than a first in, last out method like a stack. Is that Mr. Yuck? How do you spell it? I'm not sure. That sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't know what that is. Anyway, John, apply fetch modus to Sylladex. Items captchalogged in your Sylladex are no longer immediately accessible. You must now wait to use the item on the bottom card, and you must wait for items on the upper card to be pushed back to it. For instance, the red package is now inaccessible. You can only use the razor at the moment. This modus doesn't strike you as a significant upgrade to your previous one. In fact, it almost seems more inconvenient. You figure you might as well give it a chance, though. John, switch back to stack modus. You suddenly wonder if this is even possible. You don't remember if you ever had a physical card for the stack modus. You find this all to be a little abstract, and you'd prefer not to think about it too much. Oh, the little poison control guy. You put him on poison stuff so your 90s baby doesn't drink Windex. Entirely possible. Anyway. John, put down razor. Put it down? You're not quite sure you understand. He's just blinking at the razor. John, pick up 2 items. You captchalogue one of the cakes. You finally found a use for all these loitering pastries. Dead weight. John, get other cake. I forgot about this bit. The second cake causes the razor to launch out in the front of your Silodex, and it cuts off the tip of John's hair and launches itself right into the forehead of Matthew McConaughey on one of the posters. Oh, good lord, that beautiful face. You wish the razor would have failed to launch. Only 90s kids remember drinking Windex. Yeah, and 2010s kids just eat Tide Pods. Anyway, John, get more stuff. You open your magic chest and captchalogue one of your favorite books of all time, Wise Guy by Mike Cavaney. There goes the fresh towel. Then it floats down and lands on John's head. John, might as well grab those cuffs. You take the trick handcuffs, expelling the PDA like a bullet. And you broke the window. Oh, god damn it. And now it's out on the lawn. John, open up that package. So the package says to EB from TG. You examine the package. It is from one of your internet chums. It's bound in packing tape, though. You'll need something sharp to open it. Ah, of course, the razor. It's all so simple. You wonder why you didn't... John, get razor. Bonk. He gets bonked in the head by the package. John, pick up package again. And then the cake is splattered on the wall now. Let's take this from the top. John, captchalogue glass shards. You take the 3 glass shards in quick succession and duck for cover. Your Silodex rains devastation on your rune from above. And now that your cards are packed with glass, you probably don't want to do that again anytime soon. You should probably go get that stuff before you forget. So let's see. So now we've got the cake out in the street, the book and PDA on the ground, the cuffs in a tree, and just various pieces of broken glass and detritus. John, use the razor on the red package. You open the package. There is something suspicious inside. Something suspiciously dirty and smelly. It's a stuffed bunny, much like the one held hostage. Hold up. Link. Ah, yeah. This is from the scene from the movie. Don't move or the bunny gets it. .jpg. Briefly, by Malkovich's Cyrus, the Virus, while taunting hard luck protagonist Cameron Poe, and strikingly similar to the one scooped up from the soot of a burning Vegas strip by Cage's Poe and offered to his daughter, a gesture symbolic of a tattered exterior surrounded by a heart of gold. Poe wasn't much to look at, but he was a good man. But no, it is not merely like that bunny. According to this note of authenticity, it is, in fact, the very same bunny. This is so awesome. John, check status of Spurb beta. It looks like your computer is trying to get your attention. John, look at monitor. So it says the same stuff. It says, Sky, blah, blah, blah. All rights reserved. Spurb client is running. A Spurb host user is attempting to connect with you. Client has established connection with host. Press enter when ready. John, check pester gem window. Here's a thing from Tentacle Therapist. Looks like you managed to retrieve the beta. Excellent. I'm going to try to connect. Whoa, okay, I just got the most awesome present. The rabbit? So sweet. I've heard tales of this wretched creature often. Its Homeric legend is practically ensconced in the fold of my personal mythology by now. Haha, what? Why don't we focus on the matter at hand? Oh, the game! Okay. I don't really know how this works. What am I even looking at here? You are running the client application. I am running the server, so I am the host user. I have established a connection with you. This is sufficient for us to play the game. Oh, okay then. Why don't you get started? Why don't we get started? John, press enter. Now there's a loading screen. And now there's an S panel. I love this flash. This might not be the flash you're thinking of. Oh, your computer cannot quite handle a flash and streaming at the same time when you're getting a slideshow. Oh no. That's unfortunate. Superb. Well, it was just a loading screen anyway. We'll figure out the flashes later. I mean, was the Strife flash okay? It is just a loading screen, but it's one of the first things that made me really love Homestuck. That's fair. And also the Suburban Jungle is such a good piece. So this is Suburban Jungle Brief Mix by Michael Guy Bauman. Bowman? I'm not sure which. Anyway, and then you can mouse over the interface buttons. Strife was similarly choppy. Well, uh-oh. Not sure how I'm going to deal with that. Anyway, so you've got to select, you've got revise, you've got deploy, you've got Fernalia registry, you've got grist cache, explore Athenium, and you've got alchemy excursus. Yeah, so you've got this little, like, video game interface on top of John's like room, as if he is a sim. Maybe just need to lower the bitrate. How do I do that? You definitely showed me last time and I forgot. Hey Ethan! Hey Ethan! I mean, Kate just said I remember all this making me feel so dumb. It's purposefully, like, wordier than it needs to be. Settings, output, bitrate. Fuck are my settings? Nope, that's a different, settings. Give me a moment. Do. How low should I put the bitrate? It's currently at 1800 kilobytes per second. I don't know anything about bit rates. About rates of bit. There's also audio bitrate, which I don't know if that's fine. I'm going to put it from 1800 to 1400? Yeah, we're on the same page. Woo. Okay. So hopefully that helps things. We'll see the next time there's a flash. Thank you for that. TT, select magic chest. So selecting the magic chest. TT, zoom out. Pew, 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 pew. Zoomed out on his house. Okay, the audio of Suburban Jungle came through fine. Well, at least the audio is good. TT, drop chest. Oh, what are you doing? Sorry, I'm just getting a feel for the controls. Is my magic chest on the roof now? Yes. I will try to be more careful next time. John, get the card. You find your missing stack fetch modus and quickly reapply it to your Sylladex. You can now opt for either stack or queue modus at any time. You toggle between your fetch modi with gleeful abandon. Looks like your dad is leaving for more baking supplies. You're relieved to have the house to yourself again, if only for a few minutes. You just hope he doesn't notice that magic chest on the roof. Or all the shit you threw out the window, for that matter. TT, select stuff in yard and move it back into room. There's this red line. Hey, do you think you would do me a favor? Can you grab all that stuff outside my broken window and bring it in for me? I'll give it a shot. Thanks! No luck. It appears to be out of range. I'm guessing it is too far away from you, the player. Oh. Also, those humps are John giving a frowny face, but this one is with a C for the frown instead of a parenthesis, so it's an even sadder frowny face. TT, select John. You cannot select a player. John abjures the meddlesome cursor. TT, select Bunny. TT, put the bunny back in the box. This little jelly bean smile. John is happy. TT, revise room. And you see the cursor, and bomp. Now the room's bigger. Now there's just another little corner. Bomp. Do you like my sound effects that I'm adding? I think they're good sound effects. Anyway, TT, open Fernalia registry. She opens the Fernalia registry, and there's all these complicated machines. The alchemeter and the what are they? The cruxtruder, the totem lathe, and the alchemeter, or alchemeter. Love how chill John is with all this. TT is literally just moving a step from afar, and he's just like, meh. TT, deploy totem lathe. Boop. Boop. I like how the animation shakes a little bit when she puts something down or changes something, so you get the feel that it's heavy. John, examine totem lathe. You don't know what the heck this thing does, but it looks neat. Yeah. This is some complicated machinery with some wheelie bits and levers and buttons. Switches, possibly? TT, open grist cache. Click. So we've got 16 out of 20 build grist, and there's a bunch of other types of grist that we do not have. It seems expanding the dimensions of your room cost us some build grist, but deploying the lathe does not appear to occur at any expense. Looks like certain objects are freebies, probably to help you set up the game. Wow, okay. What do they do? I think it's up to you to find out. All I can do is drop stuff in your house and move it around, apparently. How do I move stuff around? It sounds fun. I don't think you could do that. You can as a client. You'll need to install the server application. You should have received both in separate envelopes. I'm running both on my computer right now. What? Did you get another envelope in the mail? No. Once you install the server and establish a connection, I'm sure you will be able to manipulate my environment in the same manner. Are you sure you didn't get it? Oh man, I think I might know where it is. And we're back at the car where there was the green box. It has something sticking out of it. Now that your room is bigger, why don't you move to the far corner? It'll extend the range of the cursor and I can reach the items. Which you threw out the window for some reason? Good idea! What have you been doing in here all afternoon anyway? Ugh, I was fussing with my stupid Solidex. But I think I have it under control now. What modus do you use? I like to use trees. Oh no, that sounds so awkward. It's not exceptionally practical, but I think they are elegant. John, stand in the corner. So then TT has brought back the book and the PDA. TT, deploy Cruxtruder. Is this stream open to spoilery discussion or is it more newbie friendly? Asking for a friend. Oh. I think both. I think I want this to be as newbie friendly as possible, but also I think discussing spoilers is actually not that big of a deal. we might not get too into what happens later, but I'm like okay with mentioning stuff. I mean, I'm referring to the characters mostly as like TT and TG or whatever, even though I know their names. Although I think I have referred to TG as Dave. Um, I mean, like, I feel like if you're aware of Homestuck at all, you probably know that the purple one is Rose and the red one is Dave and the green one is Jade. Um, yeah, it's very interesting because it's like when I first read it, I like was completely unaware of like the fandom or anything. It was just this like weird thing that my brother was making me read. Um, and so like the trolls were a spoiler to me. Like the fact that because later on there are going to be some folks who are trolling our human protagonists, and they say that they're aliens, and you think oh, they're just kids. That's me. Yes, Schizovism is my brother. In case that wasn't clear, I'm not sure if it was clear, but um, he's also currently right across the hall. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and so like I thought that these trolls were just like internet trolls. They were just other humans who were saying that they were aliens because they were trolling. And then the first time you like actually see a troll, one of these characters with gray skin and candy corn horns, I was like, what the fuck? They were dox me, why don't ya? Oh no, I hope no one comes in and kills my brother or kidnaps my brother who lives at etc. Um Anyway, yeah, so it's like the troll's existence was a spoiler for me, but I feel like a majority of the people getting into Homestuck know about the trolls beforehand because like they were such a big thing. I mean, there was so much so that there was like a fandom joke that people would to about how people would skip to Act 5 for the trolls. Um but also at the same time, I read through all of Homestuck once, but I was kind of skimming and I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't really care about it. But then I was like, wait, this one part is really cool, but I don't know what's going on. And so then I went back to the beginning, already kind of knowing everything that was going to happen, and then I got really into it. So basically, what I'm saying is there's a lot of stuff that could potentially be spoilers, but also I think it's enjoyable even if things are spoilers for people. Um, did that answer your question, Kate? Anyway, T2, deploy alchemitor. So you've got also, so there's the alchemitor, but then you see there's also a pre-punched card and the punch designix. Show pester log. Why is the floor shaking? Are you dropping more stuff in my house? Yes, 2 more large gizmos. Sweet. What is with all these big contraptions? If I had to guess, they appear to facilitate a sort of system involving punch card-based alchemy. Huh. To what end? I mean, what are we supposed to be doing in this game? That remains to be seen. Maybe you should go investigate? John, get PDA. Hold on. Let me just take a sip of water. Oh. It's okay, friend of Kate. So anyway, you gather the PDA, switching back to stack mode so it's readily accessible. The interface is oddly sterile. No hilarious clown wallpapers or anything like that. Oops, you mean Harlequin wallpapers. The Serious Business app is open. It seems your dad uses it to keep tabs on various acquaintances, his fellow street performers, maybe? You guess the performing arts must be pretty serious business after all. So, shit, I accidentally closed all my tabs. I'm gonna read through the conversation happening on Serious Business. It says at the top, the following matters have been submitted in a frank and forthright manner for Pipe Fan 413's judicious appraisal. There's something from Gray Slack 66 that says, decided to return home for fresh tie. Soiled tie will be laundered immediately upon return. Then someone called Well Pressed Attire says, use ballpoint pen to roll up tip of cloth. Extract pen. Pressed rolled cloth against ceramic surface, e.g. restroom sink. In future, consider repositioning hat hook and or coffee pot. Then Office Urchin 1280 says, photographic documentation of incident. And Greysock66 says, was posturing unevenly to reach for a hat on wall hook. Tip of tie slipped in open pot. I just realized I am reading this backwards. God damn it. Yep, I've been told serious business is read bottom to top. I realize this now. Anyway. Whatever. It starts with need counsel in removing coffee from necktie. Incident occurred 45 seconds ago. Beverage essences rapidly settling into fabric. Too busy for this says, please a lab on incident. Gracelock66 says, was posturing unevenly to reach for hat on wall hook. Tip of tie slipped in open mouth of pot. Duration of dunk, approx 3 seconds. And then the rest of the conversation happens, but in the reverse order. Anyway, thank you for telling me that serious business is read from bottom to top. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that until... I didn't see that message until after I realized that on my own. Which seems to be the way of things with chat telling me stuff. Anyway. Install Pester Chum. Also, the Homestuck is going well. Recursive. Are you someone I know? Anyway. Install Pester Chum. This should be useful. Now you can keep tabs on your chums while you wander around the house. Yeah, as a reminder, this is 2009, so it was, not like a thing for a 13-year-old to have a smartphone. And PDAs were, I guess, still a thing? Now I'm just a filthy Homestuck. Extremely valid! Welcome! John, go out to balcony. Love a good Homestuck. A ham steak. A homosuck, if you will. Okay. Hey, I'm out on the balcony now. I am messaging for my dad's PDA. The one you threw into the yard? No, I am telling you. It jumped out of my Silodex like a frightened weasel. What were you doing with it in the first place? I'm not sensing a lot of regard for personal property of others. Is this how your pent-up frustration with your father manifests itself? What? No. Those were all accidents. Please take your psychobabblery elsewhere, miss. A dad like Dad would still have a PDA, but some 13-year-olds did have iPhones at the time. You know the type that had them. Okay, I do know the type that had them, but they were less ubiquitous, at the very least. In fact, I probably knew some middle schoolers who had iPhones in 2009. Probably. I definitely remember a lot of kids having Blackberries, which is, like, very funny in retrospect. There was something only the really cool kids would have. Or really rich kids. Yeah. Your bathroom is a mess. Did you do that too? Oh, man, see, this isn't cool. All this snooping nonsense. There's a cake in the toilet. Yes, there is. I'm tempted to clean it up for you. Okay, if that will satisfy your weird OCD complex, then go ahead. My obsessive-compulsive disorder complex? Can a disorder also be a complex? In your case, probably. Sounds complicated. Anyway, I'm going to have a look at this enormous platformy thing you've put on the balcony. John, examine alchemeter in a cautious manner. You have no idea what to... And then he's standing right on top of it. You have no idea what to do with this thing. You can't find any controls for it. Having exhausted all other possibilities, you just decide to stand on it. This isn't very cautious of you, actually. Megan had a Blackberry, and I was like, girl, what business are you running from 6th grade math class? Honestly, I wouldn't put it past her, specifically. John, look through telescope. It's a clear, sunny day. Nothing out of the ordinary to report. At least, not beyond the walls of your own home. TT, grab the soiled toilet. Whoops. Whoops, what? And the toilet has just been torn from the bathroom with some of the floor attached. And then she just puts it on the furthest edge that she can in the backyard. What was that noise? Is this something I should go investigate? No, I have it under control. You can keep playing with your telescope. John, investigate. Serious business. Ugh! I think I could patch it up. Just give me a little space. Why don't you go have a look at the Cruxtruder? The what? The thing I put in your living room. John, hop down the hole. You jump down to the utility room. John, get sledgehammer and card. You take the sledgehammer and the capture log card, combine the two, and quickly apply it to your stripe specimens. You think it's cool that things don't always have to be a federal fucking issue. Looks like another one of your chums is pestering you on your PDA. John, answer chum. Garden Gnostic began pestering ectobiologists at 1725. John, did you get my package? Oh, hey! Oh, bleh. Sorry. I had some broccoli stuck in my teeth. Oh, hey! No, not yet. Darn, are you sure? It was in a green box. Oh, yes, but it is in my dad's car and he is still out at the store. He should be back soon. Great! So, what are you up to today? I am up to my neck in this spurb stuff. TT is making a royal mess of my house. Well, what's spurb? Oh, it is this game. It's okay, I guess. I'm still figuring it out. Whoa, what was that? What was what? There was a loud noise outside my house. It sounded like an explosion. Wow, really? I will go outside and look. Oh man, alright, but be careful, okay? I will. Smiley face. Garden Gnostic ceased pestering ectobiologist at 1728. John, might as well check out the Cruxtruder. Show pester log. Oh, hell no. You put this thing in front of the door? There's a door there? Yeah. I didn't see it. I just thought that it fit nicely into that groove. You mean you thought it was elegant? Okay, well, what do I do with this thing? Hello? What are you doing up there now? Oh, fuck. Listen, people who say that Act 1 isn't good are liars. This is peak. This is peak anything. She's just taken the bathtub. She's just taken the bathtub and the floor that it's on. Alright, John, examine wheel in the Cruxtruder. When you turn the wheel, something seems to be pushing up from underneath the lid, but you aren't strong enough to make the lid come off. TT, put bathtub in driveway. Connection lost. On the tub's journey to the driveway, the connection is interrupted. John, scold TT. So now John is just sitting in the bathtub that is at the top of the stairs. You can see me, right? Tell me what is wrong with this picture. Sorry, I keep losing the wireless signal. Must be the weather. I would look for a stronger signal in another part of the house, but I'd rather not risk an encounter with my mother. I battled through her clatter gin and derision once already this evening. Yeah, I hear you. Yes. Cake, gestures, unfaltering love and support. Quite a road to hoe there. Though I suppose I'm complicit for not informing social services about your situation. I know! What about going outside? Maybe you could catch a neighbor's signal? That presents the same problem. Also, it's raining, remember? And dark. It's dark already? Yes, the sun has already had its way with us here on the East Coast. Its lurid glare has moved on to younger time zones. Okay. John, hit Cruxtruder with sledgehammer. Need some help? TT, pick up sledgehammer. So the cursor is helping him. There's a bright burst of light. And now a thingy has come out of it. You know, a glowing, floating thingy. Wonder what that is. Oh, and now there's a timer that's counting down from 4 minutes and 13 seconds. What is this thing? And what is that clock counting down to? I've been looking at the game fact walkthroughs to figure out some of this stuff out. Wow, I can talk. I can read. I've been looking at the game fact walkthroughs to figure some of this stuff out. Hold on while I read further. Okay. All of these walkthroughs are extremely short. None progress much further than this point. Weird. Well, I mean, it is a new game. True. Now that the lid is off, you will need to extrude some cruxite. John, turn wheel again. You extrude one cruxite towel. John, get cruxite. I feel like we should be hurrying. That countdown is making me nervous. John? Oh. Your PDA is trapped under the cruxite now, isn't it? Anyway, it looks like you are going to need this card, too. TT, deploy pre-punched card. John, get card. A shard of glass is expelled from the deck and maims the Harlequin doll. John, capture log fanciful Harlequins. You take two fanciful Harlequins. The additional useless freight pushes your PDA to the last card. You then switch to the Q mode so you can access the PDA. More glass shrapnel flies from the deck. This thing keeps following me around. I think it's trying to talk to me or something. That is probably the kernel sprite. It apparently needs to be prototyped. Twice, apparently. Whatever the hell that means. These walkthroughs are horrendously written. Okay. Well, you are the one with the cursor, so just do whatever you think is the right thing to do. Also, fix my bathroom. TT, drop maimed Harlequin into kernel sprite. It's got the glowing kernel sprite. And the floating glowing icon of the Harlequin doll with the fake arm sort of waving. The kernel sprite has been prototyped with the Harlequin doll. Okay, and now it is talking in fleur-de-lis gibberish. Right? That's what that is? I still can't understand this thing's gobbledygook. That was only Tier 1 prototyping. There's still another tier to the prototyping process, which, for all we know, merely advances the entity through increasingly esoteric states of linguistics. The clock is ticking. We don't have time for this asinine tomfoolery. This unmitigated poppycock. Extravagant hogwash! Okay, stop. Stop typing whatever silly thing you're typing. I'm going upstairs to the big platformy thing. The alchemeter? Huh? Try to learn the lingo. John, use pre-punch card with the alchemeter. There's no slot for a card anywhere to be found on the alchemeter. The kernel sprite followed you upstairs. TT, explore Athenium. Acquiring a cruxite dowel seems to have populated the Athenium with one item, a perfectly generic object. John, capture log telescope. You snatch the telescope from the tripod. Who knows, it might be useful. But more importantly, it pushes the cruxite to the last card, making it available for tinkering. The PDA is predictably jettisoned into the yard over the neighbor's fence. John, put cruxite on weird pattern on alchemeter. You place the cruxite dowel on the alchemeter's small pedestal. Something is happening. So now this laser arm comes out and lasers at the cruxite dowel. You set the alchemeter to cast three perfectly generic objects for some reason, which are just green cubes, expending a total of 6 units of build grist. These things look completely useless. What a waste! Out of the corner of your eye, you notice there's something in the sky. John, switch modus and use telescope to inspect sky. You switch back to his stack modus and get a closer look with your telescope. Whatever it is, the kernel sprite seems particularly agitated about it. And there's something falling from the sky, it seems. Whoa. And it's a fucking meteor! Oh no! And we've got like 3 minutes left on the counter. That's cool. That's great. You're no astronomer, but its trajectory looks suspiciously head-on with your current perspective. This is a troubling development. John, high five Colonel Sprite. You figure you left him hanging long enough. Just a very nervous high five. I love it. John, attempt to ingest a unit of build grist. It's a box of fruit gushers in his, like, little thought bubble. It is tempting because they strongly resemble rock and blue raspberry gushers. However, units of build grist are a gaming abstraction and do not seem to exist on the physical plane. There's apparently no crisis so imminent that it will deter you from contemplating idiotic and frivolous actions. And once again, reminder that a lot of these idiotic and frivolous actions were submitted by readers. Or possibly all of them at this point, I'm not really sure. Well, I mean, some of them are just, this little forward arrow, so, I think probably not all of them at this point. I don't know. Your dad is getting home. John? What did you do with your PDA this time? I'm working on the bathroom, but we are running low on build grist. TT, revised bathroom. Okay, now it at least has a floor. And Dad can't get into the house and is confused. And he sees the toilet with all the cake detritus in it and is also confused. John, please, we only have 3 minutes. John, run to your room and contact TT through Pester Chum. 2 chums have been trying to message you. John, answer chums. Show Pester log. I'm working on the bathroom, but we are running low on build grist. Oh man, who cares about the bathroom? Now there's a meteor headed for my house! I see. Do you suppose it has anything to do with the game? I don't know, maybe. What do I do? I think it's very likely. The walkthrough is vaguely suggests an impending threat before they end. The already poorly constructed sentences become even more curt and ambiguous, as if written hastily and with a sense of alarm. Actually, their dedication to updating the walkthrough under such circumstances is admirable. Wow, fascinating! If the meteor is a game construct, I think the only thing to do is proceed and try to solve the dilemma on the game's terms. Try using the lathe. It says you can use the card on it, but it isn't more specific than that. Okay, I'll do that. Really, it is a labor to read this dribble. If I read any more, my brain would need to be spoon-fed from a jar, while it blows spit bubbles in a high chair. I think I will write my own walkthrough. That is, after we make sure you don't die. Heard you got the box. Hope you appreciate my heroic fatherly perseverance in getting it to you, in my rough and tumble, dirty, wife-beaterly sort of way. Also, I hope you appreciate how many no-talent douches had their mitts on that bunny before you. It's like a grubby baton in some huge douchebag marathon. Hey, where are you? Oh man, the bunny was awesome, but I don't have time to talk. I'm playing Spurb, and it's kind of a nightmare. TT is breaking everything in my house. Dude, I told you to steer clear of that game. And for that matter, you should probably wash your hands of flighty broads and their snarky horseshit altogether. And now there's a meteor coming, and I'm not even joking about that. It's like a big asteroid or comet or something. In the sky. Headed right for my house. Oh man. How big is it? I don't know. Big, I guess. I gotta go. We'll talk later if I am still alive and the Earth isn't blown up. Like, the size of Texas? Or just Rhode Island? They're always throwing around these geographical comparisons to give us a sense of scale, like it really means anything to us. But it's like, that doesn't even matter. It's always just like, wow, that's pretty fucking big. Like, Mr. President, there's a meteor coming, sir. Oh yeah? How big is it? It's the size of Texas, sir. Oh shit! Or, how big is it? It's the size of New York City, sir. Oh shit! Sir, I'm afraid the comet is the size of your mom's dick. Oh snap! Sir, are you familiar with Jupiter? You mean like the planet? Yeah. Well, it's that big, sir. That sounds pretty big. I have a question. Is it Jupiter? Yes, sir. Earth is literally under siege by planet fucking Jupiter. Oh shit! Anyway, later. God, this is one of my favorite little... I love this little Dave monologue. I think about it a lot. I don't know. Anytime I end a conversation, I, like, do a ramble and then end it with anyway later. it's this. This is the prototype. John, use pre-punch card on totem lathe. You slip the pre-punch card into a slot on the totem lathe. Above, the tool arm deploys a configuration of chisels. Now you just need something to lathe. John, take Cruxite to totem lathe. I absolutely love Dave monologuing after the person he's talking to is no longer reading. Yes, it is spectacular. It's one of... You know what? I remember when I first read this, I didn't really like Dave, and I just cannot believe that now. I love Dave. He's fantastic. I guess because he's also obnoxious. But they're 13-year-olds. They're all obnoxious. John, take Cruxite to totem lathe. Cursing your lack of foresight, you return to the balcony for the Cruxite dowel you left on the pedestal. You navigate the hallway, leery of your dad, who is presently puzzling over the new fixture in his hallway. The cake is now on the little, the pogo thing, and the toilet that still has a piece of floor on it is now back in the bathroom that has a new floor. The perfect crime. You retrieve the Cruxite dowel. Dad just shrugs and heads back downstairs, presumably to do more baking. If only he knew you were hard at work saving his ass. John, use Cruxite dowel on totem lathe. You clamp the Cruxite in the lathe. John, activate lathe. Now it's spinning, and it's making a sort of swirly thing. The lathe card's one totem. You take the totem. Alright, I used the lathe to make this blue shapy thing. Now I guess I take it back to the alchemixer again? Hello? Tentacle therapist is no longer connected. And she tries to move the tub. Connection lost once more. Alright, now we've got about 2 minutes left, and the bathtub is blocking the door of his room. And now for something completely different. Or, well, not completely different, but we're no longer with John. A young lady stands in her room. Due to a violent storm, her house has just lost power, along with her wireless internet connection. This has severed her link with a popular video game she was playing with a young man at a critical moment. That young man is relying on this young lady to reestablish a connection somehow. This young lady named... It's on the tip of your tongue. What was the name of this young lady again? Oh, also, if we look at her room, she's got this poster that I'm pretty sure is Freud with like a Cthulhu-esque head. So, tentacle therapist. Anyway, enter name. Flighty Broad. No, that wasn't it. One more time. Rose Lalonde. Yay! I like how subtle her little smile is. Like, it's just a couple of pixels. Examine room. Your name is Rose. As it was previously mentioned, you are without electricity, although your laptop computer still functions on battery power. You have a variety of interests. You have a passion for rather obscure literature. You enjoy creative writing and are somewhat secretive about it. You have a fondness for the bestially strange and fictitious, and also sometimes dabble in psychoanalysis. You also like to knit, and your room is a bit of a mess. And on occasion, if just the right one strikes your fancy, you like to play video games with your friends. What do you do? So if you look at her room, she's got this like little Cthulhu plushie thing. She's got stuff on the floor, a knitting bag, a violin, some drawings on the wall, and it's raining outside and there's lightning. Rose, retrieve arms from purple box. The purple package's contents are private. No one is allowed to look inside. Rose, ride like a flagellum, puke on your bed. Ugh, what a terrible idea. The thought alone makes you sick to your stomach. Bleh. Rose, stroke writing journal and mutter, my precious. You would only resort to such an embarrassing activity when no one was watching. These journals are for your eyes only. I like how she appears to be aware that someone's reading this. Rose, get violin. You captchalogue the violin, storing it in the root card of your Sylladex. S. Rose, play a haunting refrain on the violin. Alright, someone please tell me how the movement is. How the flash is going here. Also, as a note, it's not supposed to really match up with the music perfectly. Or possibly at all. Yeah. So anyway, that was Agree, violin refrain, Andrew Ho, by Andrew Ho and Mark Hadley. You waste approximately 40 seconds playing the violin while your friend is in peril. Nice time management skills there, sweetheart. Okay, movement has been fine for these in the previous slash, but these are simple ones. It's true. We'll see how this goes. John, tell Liv Tyler you love her before impact. Since your good-for-nothing friend is obviously not going to bail you out in time, you issue words of parting fondness to your dear, sweet Liv. Oh, if only Affleck could have been the one to make the final sacrifice instead of her stubborn, blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth father. Then she would fall into your arms for consolation, and you would be the one to make the deceased Bruce Willis proud. John, captchalogue knitting supply... Rose, rather. Captchalogue knitting supply bag. You get the knitting bag. It occupies the left leaf card under the violin, per the tree modus's alphabetical sorting method. So, K is lower in the alphabet than V. Or earlier in the alphabet. So K greater than V. Or less than, blah. Because it's a smaller number. Anyway, Rose, look out the window. Your panoramic window offers a view of your yard below, and the mausoleum housing your dead cat, Jaspers, who died when you were young. Let's put animal death mention on the contents warnings list. Who died when you were young. Your mom had the structure erected with a spirit of scornful irony in response to your youthfully innocent request to hold a funeral for the animal. At least, that's how you've come to interpret the gesture in retrospect. You can also make out a silhouette of the laboratory next door, a facility which likely broadcasts a strong wireless internet signal. You may be able to connect to the signal from a different part of the house, perhaps if you seek higher ground? Rose, get laptop. You take your laptop and prepare to make the journey throughout the house. L is less than V, L is greater than K, and so the tree has sorted itself out like that. This causes the tree to be unbalanced, so your Sylladex auto-balance itself. Now, the laptop occupies the root card, while leaving the other two items, comprise the leaves. K is less than L, V is greater than L. It feels weird actually, like, reading these bits out, because, I generally don't pay attention to them when I actually read this. But you know, if you're reading things out loud, you gotta read it out loud. Rose, examine book on desk. So this is the Grimoire for Summoning the Zoologically Dubious. This book is absolutely indispensable for enthusiasts of your ilk, of which there are very few. Rose, take book. You take the Grimoire. G is less than L, G is less than K. Rose, go explore the house. You leave your bedroom. Hanging just next to your door in the hallway is a painting of an exquisite wizard. Your mother collects all these awful things ironically. She must know how you detest them, and there is no doubt in your mind she stores these dreadful things in your house to bother you. Down the hall and to the right is the way to the observatory. Perhaps you will be able to connect from up there? Your mother's room is also in that direction. You will have to watch where you step. Rose, tiptoe to the observatory. You approach a juncture in the hallway. Beyond the juncture is the observatory. So, she's looking. She's trying to sneak. And then, in a flash of lightning, there is a silhouette. Rose, sneak by. sneaks by, and now, when the lightning flashes, the silhouette is gone. Woo! Anyway. Down the hall. This door leads up to the observatory. You haven't ventured there in quite some time. Rose, go through the door. So have you noticed that I keep adding thes in there? I do not mean to do that, but it keeps happening. When I read these commands. Let's go through door and not go through the door. The door opens to an exterior walkway leading to the observatory entrance. You've seen less inclement weather before. Oh, the things you'll do to help out a friend. Rose, hurry up to that observatory. Rose, try to connect. She's in the observatory now. There's a very large telescope. You first pull your laptop down on the floor to get it situated. But by removing the root from the root card causes all the branches and leaves to be severed. Your items are dumped unceremoniously on the floor. Which is better than them being jettisoned out the window, I guess. Rose, see what you can observe. You're in a hurry, sure, but that doesn't mean you can't take a moment to peek through the huge telescope. You find a gap in the clouds. It seems a flurry of smaller meteoroids is streaking steadily overhead. You're not sure what that means, but it is somewhat disconcerting. Rose, stack laptop on grimoire to maximize elevation. You'll need every advantage you can get. Rose, access laboratory and Wi-Fi network. There are several signals being broadcasted from the laboratory, each of relatively decent strength. One of them is mysteriously and quite conveniently unsecured, requiring no password. You select the signal and reconnect to the game with John. Yeah, which is, of course, SN Lab 0413. Because 413, it's the Homestuck number. Also, I do find it kind of funny that her file names are or folder names are leaving scraps and detritus. Okay, so we've got 40 seconds left. John is furiously typing. I'm back. Hurry up and open my door. Not that it even matters. I think I'm probably dead no matter what. Patience. You still haven't used the new totem. Huh? I believe it will create the item on the card. So what is it, like an apple or something? What good will that even do? We'll see. I found no evidence that anyone has successfully created the item. And the content of the card appears to be variable from session to session. In one instance, it was described as an eggy-looking Thiggin Seek. Wait, is it Seek or Sick? I don't know. I don't really say that word aloud, like, ever. It's very much a written down kind of word. Do we have enough of those building jewels to make it? According to the Athenium, it is a free item. This speaks to its importance, in my view. Now, off you go. Rose, remove door from hinges. There goes the rest of your build grist. Rose, put back. You probably should have just done this in the first place. John, take totem to alchemeter. Gotta get those stupid blocks out of the way first. The Colonel Sprite is getting awfully worked up about all this. Rose, remove blocks. You store the perfectly generic objects in your Finalia registry, potentially to be deployed at a later time. S. John, take a bite of the apple. Hopefully this plays reasonably well. So yeah, a tree appears and an apple falls from it. Meteor's coming. About 24 seconds left. Suburbia is the same. Oh, well, John's dead now. Big explosion. End of Act 1. Alright, so that's Act 1. Oh, it's a little choppy at parts. Well, Hold on, let's do this little years in the future, but not many, because it's short. Oh, a wayward vagabond records a stuttering step in the sun-bleached desert. Oh, it opens in a different tab, I think. And so yeah, so there's a desert, there is a figure that seems to have been walking for a while. It sees something buried under the sand. And it looks, and it's got the spirograph thing that's on a lot of the Spurb stuff, but it looks very old. And that's it. Yep, Act 1 ends there. Act 1 is fucking short. Yeah, I thought I'd be able to get through Act 1 tonight, and I did. And it honestly didn't take very long. I honestly did think it would take at least a little bit longer, but, yeah, I mean, it's only like 9 p.m., and we started at like 7:30-ish, so that's like an hour and a half. Yeah. So, yeah. That's the entirety of Act 1 of Homestuck. Now, if you're new to the Homestuck, if you're new to the Homestuck, you may be like, yeah, I thought this would go another hour-ish. Yeah, me too. I just question myself when I say I got to Act 5 because I didn't think I'd read that much. Yeah, you think like, oh yeah, Homestuck is, you hear people say it's really long. And then you read the first act and you're like, well, there's only like 7 acts, I think. And so, like, can't be that long. But the first act is the shortest. Wow, one whole Homestuck. First act is the shortest. Then the second act is a little longer, I think. And the third act is a little longer. And then the fourth act is like twice as long as any of the other ones. And then the fifth act is like the length of both of like all of the previous acts combined. And then like the sixth act is like all of the previous acts combined, I believe. And then the seventh act is short, I think. I don't know. Point is, they go up. The length of the acts goes up like almost exponentially. Not quite, but like, it's just not. Don't take this as the standard. This is definitely the shortest one. But yeah, we got through Act 1 of the Homestuck. Before we go, I was not keeping that great a tally of the content warnings. Does anyone remember any? I put animal death mention and peril. Should I put in another warning for poop jokes? I put bathroom humor on the previous one. I feel like there's a couple more poop jokes in here. I feel like there's like vague misogyny in the narrative, calling Rose like sweetheart, and also the phrase flighty broad, but it's like ironic misogyny. I don't know. Oh, Rose mentioned alcohol in reference to her mother. Yeah, right. Alcoholism reference. Yeah, totally forgot about that line. So thank you. Yeah. Poop. Yeah, Dave being ironically misogynistic is... I'm going to put ironic misogyny. Ironic is in quotes. Yeah. Okay. So far, I've got animal death mention, peril, alcoholism reference, bathroom humor, and ironic misogyny. Yeah. And there's mentions of racism, vaguely. Um, I don't know. Well, anyway, that's Act 1 of Homestuck. Thank you for joining me. Um, I'll be back here next week, probably, because, this seems to be working for me. I mean, granted, I'm currently between jobs and looking for one, so maybe I'll get a job within the next week, and I probably won't. But, probably be back next week. Maybe I'll, decide to do another one between now and then, but again, follow me on Twitter. I'm CorvidCastle12 for more updates. And also, I realized last time I forgot to mention my YouTube account, where I am putting all the VODs. It's also Corvid Castle. It's the same one as this, so you probably could have figured it out. But I did not actually say that. Yeah. Um, I don't have those, Ethan. I don't have the special Twitch things. Kisses. The special Twitch things that'll tell you these things. Yeah. I was considering making a new YouTube account specifically for the VODs, but the thing is that my existing YouTube account has the same username as I use over here because I use the same thing basically everywhere, so felt like it would be stupid to make another one just for the Homestuck. So yeah. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye. What, no Nightbot? So no Nightbot? Yeah, maybe maybe by next week I'll figure out how to do bots. Alright. Good night, y'all. I'll see you next week, or if you're Ethan, sometime in the next few minutes, probably. Bye.